they sort of essentialists? Like, are they just into the series? What's the deal there?
Oh, what you're talking about on the Facebook group? Oh yeah, it's pretty much only talk about the original show. The only time I've ever seen anyone talk about the movie is when they're like making fun of it.
I just meant, yeah. Well, I would expect as much. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, um, I meant the just the first season. Do they talk about third at all on there?
Oh, like you mean? Do they talk about the third season? Oh yeah, yeah. They still do. People still. It's a little controversial because everybody has their opinions on it. Like I've actually seen the opinion. I saw one guy write out that he thinks in his mind there's four Land of the Lost shows because he thinks season 1 and 2 are so different from season 3 that you have to say it's the original Land of the Lost, then season 3, then the 90s show, and then the movie, you know. But I think that's a little too far. I think even though season 3 is definitely a step down in quality, I think it is still connected enough, you know, with all the plot points that they try to connect it with.
Right. I don't really prescribe to that,
Yeah,
but I see where he's coming from.
I think that's the minority though. I think
Yeah.
most people still acknowledge season 3. Another cool thing I found recently was the interview. I'm pretty sure I linked it in the Discord. It's an interview with Wesley and Kathy, she's there, and David Gerald, and then Larry Niven and Donald F. Glut, who is the co-writer of Blackout. So it was the guy who wrote Blackout, and then everyone else I said, but I wasn't sure who Larry Niven was, so I looked him up. I'm sure he was a writer, but I wasn't sure which episodes he wrote, and he co-wrote Hurricane and Circle with David Gerald.
Wow.
So
Cool.
shout out Larry Niven. He deserves credit.
Now, you did all of the episodes in a tier list, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, I did all the episodes of season 1 and season 2 in a tier list, and then I started to do season 3, up to like the first 5 episodes, but I haven't completed my rewatch of season 3. But that mean for the most part, it's pretty much done because they're not going to be that high the season 3 episodes.
Um, episodes of season three, were those all like any
I
that weren't?
They were mostly like okay tier, because
Mhm.
the way that I made mine, I had a the very bottom tier I called Medusa, as in like bad. That's like episodes that are like hard. That's just hard to watch, And but then the tier above that was just like okay, where it's like nothing particularly great happens, but it's also not that horrible to watch, and so just like basically mid, and a lot of the season 3 episodes were landed in the mid category, but there are some standout moments. There's still what's the repairman?
Repairman from the first one, Time Stop. I
Yeah,
think those are pretty solid.
exactly. Yeah, those are, yeah, a pretty repairman got into like the very good tier, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I do have my updated top 10 list here, and
Let's talk about that.
it's Circle, Stranger, Split Personality, one of our pylons is missing, The Longest Day, Follow That Dinosaur, Gravity Storm, Pylon Express, The Search, and The Zarn. And I noted the big things that changed in that from my pre rewatch to post rewatch. The big things that changed was the fact that The Longest Day was in the top 10 at all. I didn't have The Longest Day in my top 10 at all when I first made it before I rewatched it, and now it's my fifth. I said it's my fifth favorite episode, and I stand by it. Longest Day is crazy, and then also The Possession and Elsewin both fell out of the top 10, and if I made like, I'm pretty sure on the tier list, actually, if you go by the first 10 episodes, though my top 10 are all in like S tier, obviously, but then there's like three more that are also in S tier. So I still said that like Possession and Elsewin are like really really good. They just didn't quite make the top 10. And also Follow That Dinosaur moved up from 10 to 6 because it's a banger.
Really. And it wasn't same for me. Like that wasn't even on my top 10. Watching Fall That Dinosaur, that it really is a classic.
Yeah. Because it's a really really eerie premise. That's like definitely one of the darkest episodes.
And there's a lot of really good lore in there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, talking about
And
the slee stacks hibernating and all that.
versions of the Beware of Sleestacks.
And the fact that the slee stack are actually named after the general slee stack from the army or whatever.
Hey, would you like to share yours?
Well, I don't have mine up right now. I'm still kind of like looking for it. So if you want to go, that'll be.
Hey, wait, I should be
Sure.
able to get it, but yeah, you could go also.
Um, I've got Circle as my top, which we all agreed on, right?
Facts, yeah, that is the universal, yeah.
The Dinosaur, The Stranger, Split Personality, Grim, The Musician, Hurricane, Pylons is Missing, Album, and The Zarn.
Nice. Yeah, you got
A lot of
musician in there.
soft spot for that one, for lore reasons.
I think I have my modified one now. So I have Circle at number 1.
Facts.
Yeah. The Stranger, second, and then I have Gravity Storm, third. One of our pylons is missing, the Zarn, Split Personality, the Possession, Follow That Dinosaur, the Musician, and whoops, I put one of them twice. Oops. Well, there's 9, I guess. I don't know what happened to 10th one, but yeah, I would say 10th might be like Album or The Search or something like that.
For the most part, I think our tier lists have the same episodes on them, maybe different placements slightly, but they're episodes.
Oh yeah, I actually remember when I compared our 3 after we made them. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was either 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 of the episodes all 3 of us had inside of there somewhere. So for the most part, we very much agreed. Yeah.
I moved Musician down.
I was
One of
gonna
our
say, all of us ended up having follow that dinosaur creep in, because as you were reading yours, I'm looking at your old tier list on my phone from September, and you didn't have Follow That Dinosaur in there either. So all 3 of us rewatched that, and we're like, oh yeah, gotta throw that in there.
Yeah, Album is out of there, Downstream's out of there, but the rest of them are still up there. Just they're reordered.
I love
Yeah.
Album so much. Album was another one that was like,
Yeah.
so close. Like if I rank out the rest of the episodes, it's probably like my number 13, 14 favorite episode album.
Yeah, it's like high A tier,
Yeah, very good.
and then yeah, I moved up. One of our pylons is missing. Just rewatching that one, so weird, such a good episode. I always knew I liked that one, but it's like, yeah,
I've
one of my favorite.
always had a soft spot for one of our pylons is missing. That one's been in my like top 5 since I was a
Mm.
kid. Since I was a kid, and it never left.
Yeah, and you had The Longest Day and what was the other one? Pylon Express in the top 10.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot how good Pylon Express is. Pylon Express, in my opinion, is one of the best season 2 episodes. You know, it's like really good. It's really weird, but and also it has kind of like a slow start, because it's like
Hmm.
it's kind of because it's like a well, actually it definitely is because I remember hearing about. I was gonna say it definitely is a Pakuni episode because the episodes were either Dinosaur or Sleestack or Pakuni, and so that one definitely would qualify as a Pakuni episode because all the like ritual like going around the pylon in the circle stuff. But once it actually gets going and she's like in the pylon, like it's awesome. And there's just so many unanswered questions with that one. That's what I love. Like who wrote the warning in the dirt?
That and split personality are the ones that I, for newcomers, really give a great idea of just how bizarre the series is and how confusing it can get, but exciting.
Split personality has always been my favorite, bro. I love it so much. I have such
Yeah,
distinct memories of being terrified as a child. That's why it still resonates with me. When you see them sticking out the wall with the really bad CGI, it's like it's so good.
Did
well,
either of you have Hurricane in your top 10? I don't think I heard that.
I did not have Hurricane in my top 10, no.
did.
You did. Okay. I wasn't sure. I mean, it's definitely not something I think of immediately as like a top
Yeah,
10 episode, but like rewatching it and then seeing like they're looking at themselves on the other side of the world. Like that's something that like not every episode has, like that kind of world building, you know?
Yeah, no, it's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I love Hurricane, and it's
absolutely. Yeah.
such a great guest character. Like I think
Hmm.
I think in the terms of one-off, one-episode characters, he's my favorite. Beauregard Jackson. You know, rest
Absolutely.
rest in peace, Ron Masak.
Oh. Mm.
No, I would agree with that. Of all of the guests, originally David Gerald was going to play him, which I would have loved, but still really lucky that we had Ron Masak. Um, but still, a fun tidbit. There was a lot of good lore in there. There was a lot of uh, world building. And then also there's the stuff about the United States of Texas, which of course they don't cover in the actual episode, but would have been interesting. And I mean, it is canon, as I understand it. You know, mention it.
Yeah, that's another interesting. Like in his timeline, maybe he's like when the rift opened, you could be taken from like multiple different like timelines, and he's from the timeline where uh Texas, because Texas was a country for like 4 years in the 1800s, so maybe he's from the universe where Texas never stopped being a country. Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, be on the lookout for anything that helps you, mapping wise, like uh, on the lookout for and listening for, because sometimes there's consistent things that they that they show on camera that help with mapping. Like one example is the like they usually like signal with the like mirror things to High Bluff from the carrot patch.
Right.
So the carrot patch is in front of High Bluff, like for sure. Like, and it's also right next to the swamp because when they look that way, they're looking towards High Bluff. When they look that way, it's the swamp. Like, because that's like a consistent thing they've always shown with the carrot patch. So that's just one example. And then of a thing that you could see, and then the thing that you hear is like an example is in the Zarn, they say exactly how far or approximately how far, as best as they can with their not having technology, how far High Bluff is from the Mist Marsh. I believe it was a kilometer, or maybe it was 2 kilometers. I don't know, but I wrote it down. But yeah, stuff like that is important to make note of, because then we could take all of that information together and try to make a more accurate map. I also want to just show this on camera because it's my favorite thing ever. My Enoch coin bank statue.
Let's do an episode talking about the merchandise at some point.
And yeah, because there's that great website I found that like has all of them listed to like the ones that I've only ever seen certain ones online for sale, because they were children's toys, so they were ripped apart and played with, and then forgotten. That's what kids do with toys. So the likelihood of there being ones 48 years later still in the packaging is very rare, So because of that, I've only ever seen certain ones online, and this one website that like archives them all, it's like a blog talking about old toys. It literally has like pictures of like ones that I've never seen online, like the bag of dinosaurs that I was telling you about. It's just like a plastic bag of loose dinosaurs, and yeah, that definitely doesn't exist anymore. I would be so shocked if someone had one of those still. But yeah, good talking to you, boys.
Good deal. Hey, seriously, you guys too.
Yeah, I'm glad I could make it, honestly.
Too.
Yeah, and happy holidays.
Yeah, and to
Yeah,
you
you
guys
too.
too.